Just in Japan in my Jimny. It's a nice G-Wagon. Some people say this new generation of Jimny looks a bit like the Mercedes G-Wagon, like a mini G as some people call it. American car dealer there. Although I'm filming with my sunglasses camera, well, I'm glad I've got sunglasses on because it's very, very bright today. I need to remember to keep looking at the road ahead despite wanting to film stuff to the sides. So when we stop at traffic lights, I'll have a look around so you can see what it looks like. There are variations of Japanese cars that are unique to Japan, what we call JDM, Japanese domestic market, or Japanese domestic model, however you want to say that. And also some cars have different names even though they are the same. So that one there, Toyota Vanguard, isn't that, if I'm correct in saying, isn't that the long wheelbase RAV4? There are so many similar SUVs these days. I mean, it's not even a new car, that. That's actually quite a few years old, but there are so many. This one in front, this MPV as we used to call them, they're now called minivans. Toyota Velfire, quite an expensive model, that. It's a variation on there are two models like it. One's called Velfire and the other one's called, gosh, I've forgotten the name. Is it no, the name escapes me. We'll probably see one. It's supposedly the sportier version of one that's almost identical to that. You get really stung for taxes in Japan if you have a car like that. So I was going to look to the sides. In Japan you get quite a few places, really common for businesses to display an ISO number on the outside of their buildings. It's really common. It's something that when you first come to Japan, you notice that stands out. They really display such things prominently. That AED, if you can see that, that's what's it called? That's for heart attacks. It's a machine for reviving people who suffer heart attacks. I am aware that the video is sort of bouncing around and quite uneven, but it's funny because you don't notice it when you're, I mean, with your own eyes. Our eyes obviously compensate for the movement of our body, but watching these videos back from these sunglasses, this camera built into the sunglasses, it's amazing how much movement there really is. And the sunglasses are firmly on my face. They're not bouncing around at all. It's just the movement of my body and my head. Suzuki dealer, yeah, that's where I take my Jimny for its service and maintenance. And I have to take it to a dealer for service and maintenance because it's under warranty. Now, my Jimny here in Japan has a 5-year manufacturer's warranty. So for those 5 years, I must take it to an official Suzuki dealer and get it serviced and maintained according to certain requirements, certain stipulations. This is one of the very few places I've ever seen in Japan with dedicated cycle lanes. You can see there. See that place, Star Resort? Don't know where you can see that. That is a love hotel. It's quite common for love hotels to use the word resort simply to describe a hotel. Most people I talk to do not like working from home. They want to go to their offices. There are different reasons for that, but the main reason I gather from talking to people is the social contact. They miss the social side of work because for most company employees in Japan, the only social contact they have is with their colleagues at work. So when they work from home, they don't have that social contact. This is very quiet. It's usually really jammed along here because of COVID. It's officially a state of emergency, but the state of emergency is really a bit of a joke. It's basically, the state of emergency is for Tokyo and 3 adjacent prefectures. That's Kanagawa, Chiba and Saitama. And the state of emergency is for as I said, Tokyo, Saitama, Kanagawa, Chiba, and it's from 8 PM to 5 AM because I guess the coronavirus only works the night shift or something, and it only applies to restaurants. I mean, there are guidelines asking people to stay at home and asking businesses to order their employees to work from home. There are things like that. And there is a significant drop in people on the streets and traffic on the roads. This is a lot quieter than usual, but still, I think it's a bit of a joke to call it a state of emergency. LD dealer. I have to say the built environment is really rather unpleasant. I mean, look at that. Cables everywhere overhead. There's just no... and these overhead walkways and things, and rusty old barriers and horrible concrete. There's absolutely no regard for the aesthetics of the built environment. So I don't know if this is for the international market or Japan only, but Suzuki have taken the Bandit name and given it to a car now. Of course, those into motorbikes will know that the Suzuki Bandit is was a very popular. I don't know whether they still make it, but I certainly don't see it anymore in Japan. But the Suzuki Bandit was somewhat of a legendary bike a few years back, but they've taken the Bandit name and given it to a car in Japan. Well, I want to look to the right, but the sun is shining directly at me, so I don't think you'll be able to see much. This Lexus dealer's been here about a year, I would say. Certainly one of the nicer looking businesses along this road. Certainly the nicest looking car dealership that I've seen. So you can see there the staff from the Toyota dealer. They come out and they help their customers out of the dealer. He's asking people to stop, and yet the guy will stop and let him out. KFC, recently renovated or rebuilt, totally rebuilt recently. I went in there once, I was curious, I hadn't been in KFC for years, and I was hungry and I wanted something different one day, and I didn't like it. I can't eat it, it just makes me ill, KFC. Next to it, Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut in Japan doesn't have sit-in restaurants. In Japan, Pizza Hut is only delivery. I should say these sunglasses with the camera, this camera, sunglasses camera, whichever way around you want to say it, it's not a spy cam. It's very obvious that there's a camera on the front between my eyes. I'm not into spy. I don't really think I want to spy on people. I don't think it's fair to have spy cameras. I know people do it. You never know who's doing it. There are glasses and sunglasses you can get with tiny little pinhole cameras that nobody can see, but I didn't want to do that. I got some where the camera's obvious, so I can't spy on people. There are times when I would like to just go into, say, a shop or a supermarket just to show you, but they don't allow filming in there, so it would be good to do that sometimes. And I was hoping to use these this camera inside my motorbike helmet and film while I was riding my motorbike, but unfortunately they're a bit bulky and they don't fit. These sunglasses do not fit inside my helmet. I tried to squeeze them in, but they started to creak like they were going to break, so real pity that, because that was one of the main reasons for buying them. But anyway.